We are moving on to 5.1 work together. So go ahead and go into your Applia pages. We're going to open up the work together. All right, in our first part, we're going to do our endorsement. So it says for each of these situations, you're going to prepare the appropriate endorsement. You're going to enter student's signature in cells where you would enter the endorser's signature. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do our blank endorsement. So our blank endorsement is simply signing our name. Now, obviously, we do not have a check and a pen here. We are typing in here, and we're going to just put student's signature. We're not actually going to put our own name. So this is just saying here would go the person's signature. Next one, it says we're going to write a special endorsement so that we can transfer a check. So we're going to say pay to the order of, and then we're going to go to the next line and we're going to say Clara Kwan. And then the last thing that we need to do is we need to sign it saying that we are endorsing that. And to do that, we're going to say student's signature again. And then the last one is we're going to write a restrictive endorsement to deposit a check in the account of Grantsburg Accounting. So we're going to say here, for deposit only to, and then we're going to say the account of, we're going to go to the next line again, Grantsburg Accounting. And then the last thing that we need to do again is we need to endorse it. So we're going to say student signature. Okay, so that is our blank endorsement, our special endorsement, and then our restrictive endorsement. So I'm going to go ahead and say grade step 1 and move to my next step. Okay, step number 2, it says we're going to record the balance brought forward on check stub number 151. It says $2,145.88. We're going to record a deposit of $316 made on June 30th of the current year on check stub number 151. Prepare check stub prepare check number 151 to A1 Computers for repairs. $148. We're going to use June 30th as the date, and we're going to enter student signature in the cell where you would sign the check. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to record this balance that is brought forward on our check stub. So remember, that is going to be in this section here. This left side is our actual check stub. This is our record keeping. So we're just going to go balance brought forward. I'm going to put in my amount, $2,145.88. So what I'm saying is in my account right now, that's how much money I have. Now it says I need to record my deposit. And I have a deposit that I made on June 30th for $316. So first thing I'm going to do is put in my date. So I have we're going to put June as month. I guess you can't type it. So we're going to put 6/30. And then we're going to put in the amount, $316. And then we have to find our subtotal. So get out your calculators. Don't be lazy. Okay, the amount that we should have then is $2,461.88. So we're going to put that in as our subtotal. Now, the next part it says is we need to prepare check number 151. Now, remember, before we actually write out our check, we need to fill in our check stub. We don't want to write out our check and give it away without filling out our check stub. So I'm going to start up here at the top. The amount of this check is $148. I get that from the information here. The date is June 30th. So here we're going to actually write the date, and we're just going to put JUN 6 or 30th, sorry. Jeez, period 30. Okay, 2, I'm writing this to A1 Computers. Got that from my directions. I am writing this check for repairs. Okay, then I'm going to go down. I have this information filled in. I have nothing to go in the other, so I need to fill in my subtotal. Since I have nothing in my other, I'm just going to bring that total down. So same number. And then I need to put the amount of this check. I'm going to get that from up here. My amount of my check is $148. And then how do I get this number here, my balance carried forward? Remember, this is the amount that we have in our account right now. The amount of the check is coming out of our account. So we're going to subtract that. So we're going to subtract 148 from that 2,461. We should get $2,313.88. Okay, then the next thing that we'll do is we're going to move over to our check and we're going to actually fill in our check. Now, this information we're just going to take from our check stub. The date is June 30th. We're writing this check to A1 Computers. We're writing it for $148. Make sure that you put the cents in there, 0.00. Now we need to write that amount out in words. So 148 and 00 over 100. I'm writing this check for repairs. Now, going back to this one, I should have a line drawn through, but since I'm on the computer, I can't draw that line. And then this would be where the signature would go, so I'm going to write student's signature. Go ahead and grade step 2. And we'll move on to our next step. Step 3, it says we're going to record the balance brought forward on check stub number 152, $2,313.88. We're going to prepare check number 152 to Southwest Supply for supplies, $62, and then use June 30th as our date. Enter signature or student signature in the cell where you would sign. So again, we need to fill in this information first, our balance brought forward. So that is $2,313.88. Hopefully we recognize that number. That is from our previous check stub. Okay, balance brought forward here. Now, are we depositing any money here? When we look up in our directions, it doesn't say anything about a deposit. So I'm going to leave that blank. So what is my subtotal? $2,313.88. I don't have anything to go in the other amount here. So again, I'm going to pull that number down again, $2,313.88. And now I'm going to fill in my check stub for the check. So this time I'm preparing check number 152. The amount of that check is $62. I'm writing this check on June 30th. I'm writing the check to Southwest Supply. I'm writing it for supplies. Okay, I'm going to go down to the bottom here where it says amount of this check. I get that from up here. That's $62. Remember, I'm going to subtract these two because the amount of the check is taking that money out of the account. So my new balance should be $2251.88. After I have my check stub filled in, I'm going to fill out my check. So the date is June 30th. I'm writing my check to Southwest Supply. The amount of the check is $62.00. And then I'm going to write that amount out in words. So 62 and 00 over 100. Remember, I'd fill that in with a line then. I'm writing this check for supplies. And here's where I would sign. So I'm going to put in student's signature. I'm going to go ahead and say grade final step. I should be good. And save and continue. Okay, now you can go ahead and go on and do the 5-1 on your own by yourself.